Today, we're going to deconstruct a really complicated and tragic event. It's the fatal shooting of Renee Good by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. Now, what makes this case so compelling and honestly so confusing is that multiple cameras were rolling the whole time. So we're going to break down exactly what they captured, frame by frame, to try and piece together what really happened.
So let's just jump right in. We've got footage from 3 different sources: a home surveillance camera, a bystander's cell phone, and, this is the crucial part, the agent's own cell phone. By syncing all of these up, you'd think we'd get a crystal clear picture of what went down, but as you're about to see, all this footage actually raises way more questions than it answers.
Okay, so before we can even begin to understand those final chaotic seconds, we have to rewind. We've got to reconstruct how this whole thing started. Let's go back to the 4 minutes before any shots were fired.
A home surveillance camera gives us this timeline. So Good pulls up, her wife gets out of the SUV, and then she parks the vehicle right across the road. Now, officials would later say she was blocking them, but this early footage is so important because it shows that for a few minutes, other cars, even big SUVs, were getting around her just fine. And that's when Agent Ross walks up, with his own phone already recording.
You know, you might expect a situation like this to be tense from the get-go, but analysts who've looked at the footage say the opposite. The atmosphere seems surprisingly calm. Good looks relaxed, you can see both of her hands, and she's just talking with the agent. It doesn't look explosive at all.
And listen to this. These are Renee Good's actual words, caught on Agent Ross's phone, just moments before everything went sideways. That's fine, dude, I'm not mad. It really paints a picture of a situation that just wasn't overtly aggressive at that point.
All right, so let's get to the shooting itself. This is where we need to sync up those different camera angles to break down those final, tragic seconds piece by piece.
The whole thing happens in a flash. You have Agent Ross circling to the front of the SUV. At the same time, 2 other agents come up to the passenger side and start yanking on the locked door handle. Right then, the video is unmistakable. Renee Good cranks her steering wheel hard to the right, which is away from where Ross is standing. The SUV starts to move forward, and then bang, 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 3 shots are fired. And right here, this is the million-dollar question. I mean, everything hinges on this one detail. Where exactly was Agent Ross standing the moment he pulled the trigger? Because depending on the answer, this entire story changes. And this is where the videos start to fight with each other.
Okay, so look at this. This is the heart of the whole conflict. If you only watch the agent's own phone, it looks like the SUV is lunging right for him. It looks terrifying. But when you sync that up with the bystander's video, taken from a different angle at the exact same moment, well, it tells a totally different story. From that angle, the agent seems to be off to the side, not directly in the car's path. So you have 2 cameras, 1 incident, but they're showing 2 completely different realities.
So, this major discrepancy in the videos becomes even more significant when we put it side by side with the official story of what happened. Let's compare what they said to what we can see.
Right after the agent's cell phone video was released, the Department of Homeland Security basically doubled down. They issued a statement saying the footage proves their case, that Good was impeding officers and, quote, weaponized her vehicle, leaving the agent with no choice but to defend himself. But when you really break it down, the claims and the visual record just don't quite line up. So the claim that she was impeding officers, well, that's challenged by the video of other cars driving right past her. The claim that she weaponized her vehicle, that's contrasted by the very clear footage of her turning the wheel away from the agent. And of course, the claim that he was directly in the vehicle's path, well, as we just saw, that is directly contradicted by one of the key camera angles. So this clash between the official story and what's on the video brings us to the final and maybe most important part of all this, the key questions that law enforcement experts are now asking based on their own policies and procedures.
And to really get their questions, you first have to understand a little bit about use of force policy. It's not just about whether an officer feels threatened. The policy also includes a duty to de-escalate a situation and, this is specific to vehicles, an obligation to try and move out of the way rather than just standing there and shooting.
So, keeping that policy in mind, here are the big questions investigators now have to tackle. Was there any real attempt to de-escalate? If the agent was off to the side, was the threat truly imminent? And this is a big one. Was every single one of those 3 shots justified, especially if the car was already moving past him? I mean, could he have just stepped aside?
So in the end, it's pretty ironic. The one piece of evidence that was supposed to clear everything up, the agent's own video, has actually made the search for the truth that much harder. It gives us his point of view, for sure, but it absolutely does not give us clarity. And that leaves us with this final,
really difficult question. We live in an age where almost everything is on camera, and we expect that video will just hand us simple answers. But when different cameras tell different stories and those stories clash with the official account, how in the world are we supposed to find